Welcome students. In today's class we will learn about concentric springs. A concentric spring consists of two helical compression springs, one inside the other having the same axis as shown in the figure. Concentric springs are also called as nested springs. In general, concentric springs have two springs, but in certain applications, concentric spring consists of three coaxial springs, namely inner, middle and the outer springs. Concentric springs offer the following advantages. First, since there are two springs, the load carrying capacity is increased and heavy load can be transmitted in the restricted space. Second, in concentric spring, the operation of mechanism continues even if one of the spring breaks. This results in fail-safe system. Third, in concentric springs, the spring vibrations called surge are eliminated. Concentric springs are used as valve springs in heavy-duty diesel engines, aircraft engines and railroad suspensions. In some applications, concentric spring is used to obtain a spring force which is not proportional to its deflection. Such a variable force deflection characteristics is obtained by nesting two springs one inside the other, having different free lengths. The relation for concentric spring is d1 by d2 is equal to c divided by c minus 2, where d1 and d2 are the wire diameters of spring 1 and spring 2 respectively. This relation is also given on PSG page number 7.101. Let us now solve problems on concentric springs. The question is, design a closed concentric helical compression spring used in aircraft engine to exert a maximum force of 5000 Newton under a deflection of 40 mm. Both the springs have same free length and same spring index, that is 6. The maximum allowable shear stress in both the springs is 850 megapascals and modulus of rigidity is 80 GPa. Let us look at the data given. The maximum load is given as 5000 newtons. Maximum deflection is 40 mm for both the springs. Spring index is given as 6. Tau allowable is given as 850 MPa for both the springs. And similarly G is equal to 80 GPa for both the springs. One more condition given in the question is the free length of spring 1 will be equal to free length of spring 2. Let us start with the solution. Before starting, let me clear here that concentric springs are a part of helical springs only. That means if you want to design a concentric spring, we have to design helical spring, which we have already designed in the previous lectures. The only difference will be here, as there are two springs, we will have to design two different springs. The procedure for designing each spring is exactly same as we have referred previously. In the question, we are given as shear stress for both the springs is same, hence I can write tau 1 is equal to tau 2. But from PSG we know that the value of tau 1 is k into S1 into 8 P1 C1 divided by pi into D1 square. Similarly, I can write for tau 2. We are also given in the question that the spring index is same. If spring index is same, I will get the value of Ks, that is Wahl's correction factor for spring 1 and spring 2 also same. Hence, putting all this value in above equation, I will get one relation as P1 by P2 is equal to D1 by D2 the whole square. Let this be equation 1. We have the relation from concentric springs as D1 by D2 is equal to C divided by C minus 2. Substituting this value in equation 1, I will get the value of P1 by P2 as 2.25. Let this be equation number 3. The total load acting on the spring is given to us as 5000 newtons. Hence, I can write P1 plus P2, that is load on spring 1 plus load on spring 2 should not exceed 5000, that is P1 plus P2 is equal to 5000. Solving equation 3 and 4 simultaneously, I will get the value of P1 as 3461.54 newtons and P2 as 1534.46 newtons. This was the step which is different from what we have solved earlier. Now as we got the values of P1 and P2, the next steps for designing the spring will be exactly same. So starting with the spring 1, that is outer spring, we start with the wire diameter, for which we have the relation of tau from PSG 7.100. In this I require the value of Ks. On substituting the value of C as 6, I will get value of Ks as 1.2525. Substituting the value of Ks and other values in equation A, I will get the value of D1 as 8.82 mm, which I will approximate it to as 9 mm from PSG 7.105. Next step is to find out capital D, that is mean coil diameter for spring 1. So I will use the relation of spring index C is equal to D1 by D1, on solving which I will get the value of D1 as 54 mm. Next step, number of coils N1. So for that we have the relation Y is equal to 8P1 C cube N1 divided by G D1. As I know the value of maximum deflection, I can use this relation. So on substituting the values, I will get the value of N1 as 4.81, which I will approximate it to as 5. This N equal to 5, or I can say N1 is equal to 5, is number of active turns on the spring 1. For total number of turns on spring 1, I have N1 dash is equal to N1 plus 2, because I am assuming it as square and grounded ends. So I will get the answer as 7. The length of the outer spring, that is LF1. So using the same relation, LF1 is equal to LS1 plus delta plus N1 dash minus 1 into clearance between two coils. Solid length is given by the relation N1 dash into D1. So I will get answer as 63, and assuming the clearance between the two coils as 1 mm, I will get the answer for LF as 112 mm. This is for spring 1. Next is pitch. Pitch we have the relation P is equal to free length divided by N minus 1. So I will get the answer as 11.2 mm. As we have designed the outer spring, now same procedure will be followed to design the inner spring. So first I will find the wire diameter by using the suitable relations. On solving, I will get the value of D2 as 5.87 mm, which I will approximate it to as 6 mm. Then mean coil diameter by using spring index relation, I will get D1 as 36. I will get D1 as 36 mm. Then similarly number of coils I will find out by using relation of deflection, which I will get as 7.5 mm. Then total number of coils N2 dash is equal to N2 plus 2. For square and grounded ends, I will get N2 dash as 9.5. Then lastly, solid length of the spring, which is N2 dash multiplied by D2, which I will get as 45 mm. Free length we don't need to find out, because it was given in the question that free length of the spring 1 is equal to free length of spring 2. Last parameter to be found out is pitch. Pitch is given by the relation free length divided by N2 dash minus 1, solving which I will get the answer of pitch as 17.23 mm. This completes the solution. Thank you.